Today on the show, the PlayStation game Until Dawn gets the movie treatment, then Ben Affleck is back as the accountant, what in the world is going to happen to the body in this new Cronenberg film, and The Legend of Ochi is a friendship movie with a teen and a creature, but this time A24 style. Let's get started. Until Dawn is a game that I did play and I liked it, but I played it 10 years ago, and I have trouble recalling what I saw 2 weeks ago, let alone something I played in 2015, so it's not like I'm really fresh in comparing this to the game, but I remember enough to notice that it's cool they got Peter Stormare back in it. Also that it has a completely different plot, this one involving time looping, and while that may come across like this could have been an existing script that they sprinkled Until Dawn connections in, I also get it in that the game is already cinematic enough as it is, so you might as well do something different with the movie version. The strength of the film is the house itself. It's a story and atmosphere that's constantly throwing curveballs at you, like someone might explode, or there's new parts of the road, or the house they're discovering, or a different type of villain. The various ways they die over and over again are gruesome, and the gore effects are quite great. All of that was working more than the characters. We don't get much of a setup with them before they're thrown into the action, which means the first couple of minutes have a lot of clunky exposition dialogue, with things like, well, as a psych major, you know, you haven't been the same since your mother died. You're this kind of person. You're that kind of person. This starts less like characters from Evil Dead or Cabin in the Woods, and more like Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, or Texas Chainsaw 3D. Forgive me if the game also did stuff like that, but watching this as a movie, some of the dialogue is quite bad. The more it goes on, though, the more they add a lot of humor to it, so they can get a good funny line in now and then. And the one who came out the best was this actress Odessa Azion, who was very good here, but more often than not, they can be a little dumb. And they have the asshole character who actually speaks the most sense sometimes. While I warmed up to some of them, this could have ended happily or ended like a bummer, and it wouldn't bother me either way. But the unpredictable ride that it takes you on and some genuinely good moments of suspense, it did keep me wondering where it was going, but it's not something you need to see in theaters. You'll definitely get more out of playing the game. It's a C+ that's perfectly serviceable at home. Coming up next, The Accountant 2, the sequel to something that I also don't remember that much about, other than I liked it. Stay tuned.
No, you like the idea of a dog.
Anybody who has a dog likes the idea of getting a dog. It's why they got the dog in the first place.
You're a cat person. There's nothing wrong with that.
The Accountant 2 takes what worked about the first film and really expands on it. It's a rare sequel that is better than the previous, because you get a lot more of Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal sharing the screen together here. They basically turn it into a buddy movie that's part The Accountant and part Rain Man with a little bit of twins. The filmmakers take a gamble here on a plot that is brutal with a seriously dark and sinister tone at times, and mixes it in with comedy scenes like Affleck figuring out the algorithm in dating apps. If that didn't work, there'd be a lot of tonal whiplash here, but the comedy scenes are very funny. There's a great honky-tonk bar scene featuring a hilarious still shot gag. All of that stuff was working for me more than the main plot, which isn't bad, but there is a lot going on here, and sometimes it can be hard to follow, and it certainly gets ridiculous. But man, I had a really good time here. These are great characters for Affleck and Bernthal. I hope I don't have to wait as long for a third, because this makes me want to see a franchise out of this. It's a good B, worth checking out if you liked the first. Up next, another movie that mixes dark comedy and body parts missing. It's The Shrouds. Stay tuned.
What are you doing, Karsh?
I wanted to know what it felt like to be wrapped.
Maybe it's just political, or a matter of economics.
In David Cronenberg's The Shrouds, Vincent Cassel is an entrepreneur who has devised high-tech burial plots that come with their own app and gravestone screens where you can see 3D images of the bodies wrapped in super shrouds. And this is introduced during the biggest red flag blind date I've seen in a while. I like how he talks about his grief and his dead wife's corpse so matter-of-factly and a little charming about it that for a second you're like, oh, this is legit. Then are like, oh, this man needs therapy. The setup here is good, where not only have vandals desecrated the graves, but the bodies have mysterious organisms showing up on their bones. It's a good mystery where they're invoking a fear of technology and also these political conspiracies, which gets some characters hot because they have a conspiracy fetish and how technology is prolonging the grieving period. I very much wanted to see where this would go, and it goes nowhere. Last week I saw The Ugly Stepsister, where even the trailers were comparing it to David Cronenberg, and now we have this film, and I gotta say, The Ugly Stepsister was way better. This is a very, very, very dry film, and sometimes that works. There is subtle humor in it that'll get a smile, but there are a lot of scenes that go on and on and on. It's a lot of, well, that could be trimmed, that could be cut. Ironic, since the plot involves cutting up body parts. You could watch the first half hour of this and then skip to the last half hour and not feel like you're missing very much in between, especially since it's got the worst ending I've seen so far this year. A lot is padded out with soap opera-like hookups and jealousy, extremely repetitive, pace-breaking flashbacks, and even the lines are repetitive, like how many times the word schmuck is used, and then sometimes it'll feel like a weird car commercial. Though with Diane Kruger playing twins, props for it being the 4th dual actor movie I've seen this year, I'll give it a C- because it is original, it's just not very good. Stay tuned for my review of The Legend of Ochi, significantly more family-friendly than the Shrouds. The Legend of Ochi is the type of film you've seen many times before. There's creatures who are feared by the public, and then the shy kid finds the baby, makes friends with it, wants to return it home, and they both have people chasing them. Like I said, it's a familiar subgenre, but this movie does it incredibly well. This isn't a cynical film. There's a ton of love put into this world and these characters, and it has this beautiful cinematography, like it's a movie meant to be discovered on HBO in 1985 and then becomes a cult classic. Because it has a lot of respect for the audience, the threats and injuries are very real. You have characters who have had to have a limb amputated because if they get bit by an Ochi, they basically become one. A lazier film would have a character like Willem Dafoe be just straight up evil with a single motivation, which is to kill the Ochi. But the way he's written is that in his eyes, he's not the bad guy. He thinks of himself as an armor-wearing hero with a toy soldier army, and they humanize him by giving him a very good arc. The biggest criticism I have is that while Willem Dafoe and Emily Watson are great, there's some other acting that can be a bit wooden at times. Sometimes it feels intentional for a laugh, and other times it's like, okay, you can emote a little bit. But it's a genuinely sweet film where I left the theater in a very good mood, so it was a high B+, and certainly the best of the movies I saw that day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to subscribe to our channel today and click the notification bell, and I'll be back next week with a review of Thunderbolts, and I'll see you then.